Hi, everybody. This is Carolyn.
Hi, and it's Rich.
We're here to welcome you to our
Seventh?
virtual tasting.
Seventh, I think.
Yeah, our seventh. We haven't been here for a while, but it's fall.
In case you don't know, we're from Mora's Fine Wines.
It needs to talk it.
Right.
We're talking to our usual customers, but tonight we might also have some visitors from the Stellar Film Festival, and we're really glad to welcome you here. We're located in East Setauket. My husband has a fine wine shop, community wine shop, and we do these goofy little tastings. And we do great big grand tastings. And we have Instagram, Facebook, and a YouTube channel, which though sparsely filled is still fun to look at.
With what's going on, instead of doing our big store tastings and our outside events, we're doing these little intimate virtual tastings where we're tasting wines, giving you our impression. We're featuring the wines for a week or two. We're doing Spanish wines this next 2 weeks, and we hope you get interested, see something you like, see something that looks attractive, see something you'd like to have with dinner, or just something you haven't tried before, and come down, pick up some bottles, and taste on your own. And soon we'll be back to where we can have the back and forth at the store, tasting with our friends, and comparing notes.
That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. It will happen soon. Okay, so shall we proceed?
Yeah, we're going back to Spanish wines. We've always been big on Spanish wines. We did one about one of the earlier videos was on Spanish wines.
The second one.
So we're running a special on Spanish wines for a couple of weeks, and we do have a lot of exciting new stuff. So we're going to introduce some of those.
Yeah, while Rich
brand new to the store.
While Rich is pouring them, I'll just explain to you that Rich is Spanish. He's Argentine and Costa Rica and Tico from Costa Rica. So we have a particularly large Spanish section in our store if you have not been there. I'll just say that throughout.
Oh, mention about our Friday tasting.
Oh, yeah. So while we're not having our full-scale grand tasting and we're not having our full-scale Saturday tastings at the shop, we are having flash Friday night tastings of maybe a couple of wines. Totally safe. Everybody's being so considerate about social distancing, about wearing their mask. We're using plastic gloves. We have sanitizer all over the place. And yeah.
And we're limiting the attendance.
And we are limiting the attendance.
We're also going back to when we would get a winemaker or an importer or supplier to come and pour the wines. They know more about these than we do. We just started working with Crescent Imports, a Spanish wine importer. So we're going to have Rafael Cervantes at the shop on Friday from 4 to 7. And he really knows these wines. We're going to pour a few of his wines starting right now.
This one is wonderful. I've had it. It's really, really good. I do love my bubbles.
We've been expanding our cava section really nicely with some really good wines. Carolyn and I love sparkling wines, all kinds of sparkling wines. And I've been getting a taste for the really, really dry ones, Brut Nature, or what they call Extra Brut. And we've got a couple of cavas that are bone dry. And if they're done well, though, they're not lean and mean. They've got some generous feel to them, but they're bracing and they really grab your palate. So this is a Brut Nature Reserva from Aymar. They started back in the 1800s. If you notice, they call themselves Classic Penedas. There is a bit of a revolution in the cava industry. Cava is just a generic term for, I'm going to pull out while I talk, for sparkling wine from Spain. So it can come from anywhere.
It's sort of like champagne from Spain.
Most of it comes, most of it comes from the northeast corner, the Penedas region. And most of it's generally almost always made champagne method. The quality is very high for the price. Some of the best bargain bubbles in the world. But the cava business is really controlled by like 3 giant corporations, 3 mega producers of cava that make millions of bottles that we're not going to talk about. So some of the artisanal producers, like small producers like this that maybe make a few tens of thousands of bottles, don't want to be associated with them. And they're Catalan. They're really proud of producing wine from Penedas. Terroir is what it's all about. That's why champagne is champagne. And Penedas is, there's a reason that region is famous for cava. I'm not going to get into the history of the producer and everything.
You don't have to.
But yeah, they go back to like the early 1800s up until this century. They're Demeter certified, biodynamic. They're very strict about
Hmm.
organic production, um, and I think they're all estate.
They
Um,
are a state.
yeah, just
Yeah.
briefly. So this is what they call it Brut Nature. It's got 0 grams per liter dosage, no dosage at all. It's as dry as you can get.
What is dosage?
It's aged a minimum of 24 months in the bottle before it's released, which is a lot more than necessary. I think it's about half Jarello, and then the rest is Paraleda. I'm not just ignoring
Oh,
what you
yes.
asked,
No, it's
and
okay.
Macabeo.
Yeah,
Um,
Macabeo.
but without getting really complicated, so method traditional or champagne method is when the wine is actually fermented in the bottle to produce the bubbles through a special, very laborious uh, process. Part of it is to take the still wine, add what they call dosage, if at all, and then cap it and allow it to ferment within the bottle, and that's what produces the bubbles. And then the lees from the dosage are extracted, and then the wine goes through some bottle age, and then it's released. So the amount of dosage, it's a mixture of grape must and grape sugar, affects how sweet the bubbly is going to be. Um, but when there's 0 dosage, there's no gram, there's nothing is added to it. It's just allowed to re-ferment, so it's as dry as possible.
First off, it has
So
a
let's
lovely
evaluate this
straw,
thing.
lovely straw color to it. I was holding up my paper before. This is what it's doing. Really, really nice. Very, very light. Very light. Nice.
Definitely get some toastiness from the lees and from the aging, and definitely some like nice lively, zesty
Yeah.
lemon, lime, citrus. A nice aroma. Although champagne flutes are pretty standard, just a nice white wine glass is a great way to evaluate bubbly and a great way to drink it. You have to pour it less often, and you can really get the aroma better than with a tall, skinny champagne
Nice
flute.
hint of acidity on the palate. Lots of white flowers.
Yeah, definitely, like some acacia.
Nice hit of like traditional yeast kind of feel
Mm-hmm.
to it.
Definitely some toastiness and like some
Yeah.
baked bread in the finish.
Yeah, baked bread, very good. Yeah, but still nice, not cloying at all, not sweet, not this, not that. It's just really basic, nice basic champagne method cava. You don't need food to enjoy this, certainly. I mean, it's wise, but you don't need
when we pour
to
bubblies, we
enjoy
always start with them because they're great for appetizers. Great way to just get your mouth watering. They're a high acid wine, low in alcohol, so they're very food friendly. There's a reason that you have champagne with caviar. Sparkling wines like this, especially the really dry ones, go great with salty snacks. Anything that's fatty, it's great with popcorn, wings,
pancakes.
Carolyn likes it with pancakes. Some dark chocolate is good.
Mm.
One of those baked pretzels with mustard are great. And then, of course, like, seafood, white meats, pork, chicken.
Ice cream.
I don't know about ice cream.
Yeah, vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla bean would go well with it. A gelato, lemon gelato, that kind of thing. May I have these spit bucket, please?
Yeah. Okay. So we really like this one. And this is on sale for a little under $20.
Which is really very good for it.
That's really impressive. Okay, so that's the Aymar Brut Nature Classic Benedez. Little rinse.
Sure.
Okay, so the next one This is what really brought me to Crescent Wine Imports because they have a brand called Jose Pariente, a great producer from the Rueda region, where Verdejo is king, and some pretty mean Sauvignon Blanc too.
Mm.
So this Jose Pariente, he's like the benchmark of Rueda, I believe.
The vineyards were planted between 62 and 91. So I am counting. Like over 50 years old for white. That's incredible. It's all family owned and they are select vineyards.
So this is the Jose Pariente Verdejo from Rueda. Mm-hmm. He makes a barrel aged one too, but this is his regular bottling, and he makes a Sauvignon Blanc. And to me, Verdejo, if I'm telling people ask me what is it like, I compare it somewhat to Sauvignon Blanc, and he happens to make a nice Sauvignon Blanc. And that region produces good Sauvignon Blanc, which is often blended with Verdejo.
This isn't a mistake of the computer. It does look a lot like the bubbly, the color. So it is so pretty.
Yeah.
Such a pretty, nice, clear, clean color. Verdejos are known for their upfront fruitiness, like they're bursting fruit. So I haven't tasted this one yet.
Yeah, so far the two wines have a lot of nose.
Yeah, they do.
That's so good. That's such a nice, long, lingering finish.
Yeah.
Very clean, but very ripe and round.
Beautiful, clean citrus. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
This is great. In January, when you want to be reminded of summer, get yourself a bottle of this. It's kind of neat.
I get a little, a lot of citrus, a little white pepper, a little touch of mineral.
That's what I wanted to mention about the bubbly. There is a great minerality in the bubbly as well that I noticed, particularly on the back of the palate. That's why I kept tasting it.
Like a little whetstone, slatiness.
Yeah. I couldn't place it, but that was it.
This is really good. Definitely a good seafood wine. It's round, but it has that underlying acidity that kind of gives it the effect of like lime juice on fish.
It'd be great with pork.
Pork loin, fish tacos, lots of seafood.
Fish tacos with pineapple.
Yeah, tofu is kind of like fatty and rich, and this would be great with that. I could think of a lot of chicken dishes that would really complement it too. But it's got a lovely aroma. Really well made wine.
It is. And it's got some complexity. Like when I've had Verdejos before, they seem to be like.
It's got a little grapefruit in the finish too.
Yeah.
Sauvignon Blanc drinker would really appeal to them.
They would.
It's definitely no barrel aging, no malolactic or anything. It's crisp, clean. I think it's fermented in wood vats, concrete, and stainless steel.
How do you think
gets a little lees aging? I think like 4 months on the lees. And that's pretty much it.
How do you think this would go with Thai food? Not Indian.
Depends on the
Thai
dish.
food. Thai food might go really well.
Yeah, like a green curry. Stuff with lemongrass in it. Stuff with basil in it.
If you want to get away from the Gewurz, the Rieslings, the Sauv Blancs.
Yeah, something with basil in it.
Different.
I would stay away from the sweet sauces for pairing this up. But the stuff that has the higher tones, definitely.
Oh, wow. We're almost at the third one. We are at the third one. Okay, so before we go to the third wine, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that I found out today, and Rich doesn't know this, that we have once again been nominated for the Best of Long Island. If you're not local, it's something put out by, what is it put out? Schnapps Media? I don't know exactly. I only know it's the Best of Long Island. No, I don't. Yes, Hempstead? Obviously, we don't know that much about these things, which is why we've never won. But we try to because we have such great customers and we want them to be winners too. And so we have been nominated for Best Liquor Store. I'm waiting to find out if we were also nominated for Best Wine Shop. Voting starts on October 1st. So if you think we're kind of
That's
goofy
next
and
week.
you like us, I know. You can go there and vote every day from October 1st.
Can you believe it's October already?
BestofLongIsland.com. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's super crazy. October 1st to, I think it's somewhere around December 15th, and we would be very happy if you did. Thank you. And if you like are sort of local but not already customers of ours, we would love you to come into the store and spend some time with us and find out what we're about. That said, we are now on to the red.
That said, we're on to the next one.
Yes. This is a Tempranillo or Tinto Fino.
Okay, so I poured this probably about half an hour ago.
Yeah. El Secreto de Maria.
Yeah, so first thing I'll say is the Secreto de Maria. It's produced, it's from Ribera del Duero from a co-op called Virgen de la Asunción, established like in the 50s.
Can you say that again?
Virgen de la Asunción. And okay. It's a group of about 100 wine growers. Mm. So Ribera del Duero is a Tempranillo-based wine, like Rioja, like the Reds from Toro. I believe in Ribera they call their version of Tempranillo Tinto Fino.
Tinto Fino.
This comes from 50 to 70-year-old vines. They have some of their bottlings are from older vines. It spends 12 months in French and American, I think about 50% new oak. It's not overly oaked or anything. And what else do we know about it?
It really isn't, but you feel it a little bit, as well you should.
Yeah.
But not.
It does go through malolactic with some lees stirring, so. But it's like, doesn't, the oak is definitely not overwhelming on this one.
Rich, I want to ask you said it's from a cooperative,
mm-hmm.
and I know in Italy they're really big.
Mm-hmm.
Cooperativos.
Yeah, like Prodottori del Barbaresco.
Yeah. So
how
in
big
Spain,
is it in Spain?
Yeah, is it as big as it is in Italy?
I don't know. Southern France too has a lot of co-ops.
Do they? Yeah, that's true. So maybe it is. We don't know.
Yeah, in certain regions, co-op wines can be bulk wines, kind of commercial everyday wines, but there's some very fine wines made in co-ops, like Prodottori del Barbaresco makes some of the best Barbarescos. Some regions are just so tiny or so difficult to farm that nobody's got enough land to really produce enough wine on their own, so they pool their resources.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I think we have a winner here.
The nose.
Oh, this is a 2015 too. That's the current vintage. So
the nose is exquisite. It's like black
forest.
Got a
little bit of
cake.
age on it.
I love black forest cake, black cherry.
I told you, the first thing I got was cherries on the nose, and then like a little sour cherry on the palate. But this is drinking really nicely. It does need like at least you got to pour it like at least a half hour before you serve it.
You do, yeah. It's kind of closed when you open it.
The nose hits you right off, but you have to let it sit for a while before the palate opens up. So this has a lot of life in it. Actually, in the tasting notes, they suggest keeping it around till 2030. So another 10 years of life in this girl.
Okay, taste first off, beef. And I didn't get that before when we were tasting it before.
I got it in the nose before.
You did? I didn't get it in the nose.
Like a cured meat smell.
Did you?
Yeah.
A lot of beef there.
Now there's less of it in the nose.
This is strong wine. You could pair this with any kind of meat, really, that you would want to.
Ooh.
Which is great for the fall going into the winter.
Yeah, this has some grippy tannins.
It has, indeed.
And like in the last half hour, it's just
opening
blossom.
up like crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to take the rest of this.
Part of what's so exciting about wine is that in the space of maybe 20 to 30 minutes, it can like really blossom and bloom and... Sorry.
Yeah, I really like that. So in Ribera del Duero, like Rioja's got it's actually the rule in Rioja is it just has to have Tempranillo in it. I always thought it had to be majority Tempranillo, but there's actually one of the Palacios brands of Rioja is made mostly with Garnacha because of his Priorato background, and it's just got a little Tempranillo in it. But in Ribera del Duero, it's got to be 100% Tinto Fino. They tend to be a little chewier. They're pure.
They are chewier. Did you see my fingers?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask
you.
This, for me, is like completely different from a lot of Tempranillos that I've tasted.
Different from Riojas.
From Riojas, yeah, which obviously terrorized everything everywhere. And
there's also differences in the grape, the strain of grape.
Yeah.
They're
And tell me about
genetically
that.
different. Well, it's kind of like Sangiovese in Italy, where in Brunello you have a clone called Sangiovese Grosso. In Montepulciano you have another clone, and in Chianti you have a third clone. In Spain you have the Tempranillo clone from Rioja. You have Tinto de Toro in Toro, where the grape variety has a lot to do with it, but also the age of the vines in Toro are extremely old because they have a lot of ungrafted vines. And then in Ribera del Duero, you have their own variety.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other one? The Tempranillo from Rioja, Tempranillo from Ribera del Duero, Toro. And there was another one, but I can't remember right now. But yeah.
Cool. So as I was saying, this is like significantly different from some other Tempranillos I've had. It, for me, is a little softer on the edges. If you've had Tempranillo, so you have a basis for comparison. It's softer on the edges. It's not terribly soft, but just Tempranillo I find sometimes to be very heavy around the edges. And this is light. It's not light, but it's elegant. It's like a mid-range.
I like the purity of the fruit.
And the purity,
I find a lot of, I'm grossly generalizing, but a lot of Riojas I have, they tend to use a lot of American oak, and I'm a sucker for new oak and red wines, and I like that. But I really like how in the Ribera del Dueros, even the ones with a lot of oak treatment, they use older vines fruit, and they tone down the oak a little bit, and this has just such purity of that Tinto Fino that just comes through, just that solid bedrock of flavor.
Significantly for me, if you're watching this, I'm not spitting this one out at all. So that's important.
Yeah.
And again, and as I'm drinking it, the cherry is coming through. The black cherry is coming through on the palate, whereas before it was simply on the nose. I wasn't getting it on the palate. I was getting a lot of meat.
This is definitely a red meat wine. Yeah, ribeye or lamb, rack of lamb with this, definitely.
Nice steak.
And give it time to breathe, and you would not be disappointed if you laid down a 6-pack for 5 years.
Sure.
So, I think this is a great new addition to our little shop.
Okay, so those are our wines for the evening, but we have more to tell you beyond all of that. Again, before I get into our other reduced wines that I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I do want to go over this if you are new to us.
Should I call for a pizza?
We haven't eaten yet, and it's like 9 o'clock, is it? Yeah, it's 9:05, and I'm like a really light eater, so I need food. Call for a pizza, and I'll take over here if you want to, or you can just.
Oh wait, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm not kidding, but.
So yes, again, we're a small shop, Isatake. We have a presence on Facebook, on Instagram, and we also, as I mentioned before, have our little sparsely filled YouTube channel. If you like this, please, interact. Say that you like it. Do an angry face if you don't like it. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're watching. And for everybody out there, we're in New York on Long Island. We're all going through hard times. That's Jovi, our puppy. Everyone should have Jovi. We're all going through hard times right now, and I always talk too long, but I just want to say, during these really hard times that some people are calling ugly, let's just please hold together. Let's, bring each other some smiles and some joy, some wine, some music, a little bit of laughter as we go into the winter. Some good movies like Bottle Shock. Or you could just watch Schitt's Creek every single night over and over and over again, and that'll do the same thing.
You're supposed to be plugging the film festival.
But we're supposed to be plugging the film festival.
While you're watching and eating popcorn,
drink wine. Definitely. Because you can't really play music when you're doing that. The films are phenomenal. We are so blessed to have Stoller so close to us. They do a great job every year, and to Be going the extra mile to be providing this for people at home is really, really terrific. You can have the best of both worlds, man. You could be having yourself a little viewing party. I am almost done talking. So, but while you're doing that, remember, joy and love for each other, optimism, we're going to get through this. And we love you, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so very, very much. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. We're gonna keep doing these.
Yeah, we are, because I just have too much fun. And